PP loan forgiveness and tax consideration for the construction industry. Agenda of our video will be loan forgiveness, taxation of PP loans, accounting treatment of PP loan forgiveness, emergency paid sick leave and expanded family and medical leave. Uh, PPP and generally enacted March 27, 2020 CARE Act appropriated 350 billion for PPP application process open April 2020. April 60, 2020 PP ran out of funding 1.6 million loan issued. April 24, 2020 PPP Health and Care Enhancement Act added 10 billion of additional funding. June 5, 2020 PP Flexibility Act brought in 24-week covered period 640 rule new FT safe harbor and other borrower favorable rules. July 4, 2020 PPP Extension Act extended loan application deadline to August 8, 2020 application process now closed. About 5.2 million loans were issued SB report through 8 2020. 87 of PPP loans are under $150,000. 95% of PP loans are under $350,000. PP Flexibility Act of 2020 June 5, 2020 covered period CP for loan issued before June 5th. The default CP is 24 week and the borrower can elect an 8-week CP. For loan issue and after 5th June there is no week 8 option. Rehire rule for week 8 and week 24 CPs, the FT and wage reduction can be curbed on or before December 31st, 2020, that is June 30th, the date no longer applies. Loan forgiveness payroll cost. Payroll cost no non-owner employees for C and S Corp. The mean owner FEEs that own less than 5% cash compensation including wage, tips, commission, bonuses and hazard pay. 8-week CP, 24-week CP. Non-cash compensation include employee paid group health care benefit which include vision and dental, retirement benefit and state local employment taxes. These are in addition to cash compensation. Employee group health care costs are included to the extent paid by employer during the CP for coverage during the CP but not for coverage outside the CP, different from cash compensation paid rule. Cannot accelerate a retirement benefit from outside the CP. This is to represent a narrowing of paid rule. Owner employees self-employed general partner for C and S scores. Owner is that on less, greater than or equal to 5%. 8-week CP cash compensation limited to lesser of 8 week of 219 compensation of $15,385 or 100K into 8 by 52 weeks. In total, 24 week CP cash compensation limited to less than 2.5 months of 2019 compensation of $20,833, 100K in multiplied 2.5 by 12 in total across all businesses. Loan forgiveness payroll cost. Payroll cost C corporation owner employee that own greater than or equal to 5% capped at 2019 cash compensation rule. Employer state local employment taxes health care contribution and employer retirement contribution cap at 2.5 month of 2019 retirement contribution amount. S corporation owner employee at down at own greater than 5% capped at 2090 cash compensation plus employer state local employment tax and employee retirement contribution capped at 2.5 month of the 2019 retirement contribution amount and health care contribution for less than 2% owner and family members of the such owner cannot include health insurance contribution of 2% plus owner of family member of 2% plus owner. Schedule C filer capped at owner compensation replacement amount calculated based on 2019 net profit on Schedule C line 31 cannot include state local employment taxes, retirement or health care contribution. General partner capped at 2019 net earning from self-employment on Schedule K1 box 14A reduced by box 12 119 expense reduction unreimbursed partnership expense from on Form 1040 Schedule SE and depletion from oil and gas properties multiplied by 0.9235. Amount must be paid during the covered period of the eligible for forgiveness cannot include state local employment taxes, retirement, or healthcare contribution. Loan forgiveness, non-payroll cost, non-pay that is overhead cost, interest on mortgage obligations on real or personal property incurred before 2/15/2020. Property must be secured by a mortgage or security interest. Interest payment must relate to borrower's use of underlying property. For example, if a borrower pay interest on a covered mortgage a building and issued only 75% of the property, leasing out the remaining 25, then it can be included only 75% of interest on its loan forgiveness application. Interest paid to the related property is not eligible for forgiveness. Related property including any common ownership. Rent under a lease or real or personal property is forced before 2/15/2020 or on a renewal of such lease. Does not include amount paid that are attributed to subtenant. For example, borrower pay rent of $10,000 but receive 3K from subtenant, only $7,000 can be included on the loan of for forgiveness. Does not include household expense. In case of home-based business, include only those expenses that are deductible on borrower tax return. Rent paid to the related property is eligible for forgiveness if amount of the rent does not exceed the amount of mortgage interest on a property during the covered period that is attributed to the space being rented and the lease of the mortgage for both in effect prior to the February 5th, 2020. What if there is no mortgage on the property? SBA did not address this. Related property include any common ownership utilities of which services begin before 2/15/2020. Electric, gas, water, transportation, etc. Gas and transportation utility fee assessed by state, local government, telephone, and internet.